Changing minds one thought at a time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Changing Minds Online show. Good evening, Akina. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Jessica?
I am doing awesome, and I'm so excited for tonight's show. You know, as many of you may know, we often talk on our show about tips and strategies for really manifesting your dream life. And we often, will say things like we want you to use affirmations and we want you to use gratitude and visualization or meditations. But tonight we really wanted to go into detail as much as we can on 10 quick strategies you can use within these realms to instantly manifest what it is that you want. So we're going to really kind of be personal tonight, and we're going to really go into what it is we do on a regular basis. Akina, I know we're both so big on using gratitude and just really being grateful for everything that you already have. And we know, when you focus on what you are grateful for, that you receive more to be grateful for. And I forget who said that, but I know that's a quote I really love. But when you focus on the things that are going well in your life, you put yourself in a positive mind frame and you attract better things into your life. So, Akina, I know you use gratitude on a regular basis. How do you use gratitude in your life?
Wow, I use it in many different ways. I used to struggle with the fact that I always had to be the best, or I always had to perform. And when I fell short, I would really beat up myself a lot because of the way that I was brought up. And I had to learn to be thankful for the things that I had and not worry about the things that I didn't have or I didn't make or I didn't do. I had to learn that if I can't be grateful for the things I have, then I won't be blessed with anything greater. I'm only going to be given what I'm grateful for. And that taught me a really big lesson, because all the time that I was upset about the things I didn't have, I didn't really get to cherish the things that I did. And so I am super excited about gratitude now, because I get to live in a different headspace. I get to live in a different heart space. I get to celebrate the things that I have, and I get to share them with other people, including our lovely audience on the phone tonight, because gratitude is so important. Without it, there's no appreciation, and we don't truly get what we have until we work for it and we can appreciate it. And as a workaholic, that meant so much to me. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I really try to do gratitude journals daily. And, I like to start my day off with gratitude. And I'll write 10 things I'm grateful for that morning. And then when my day, and I carry it with me all the time, I have this gratitude book. And, throughout the day I'll take it out and I'll add things to it. When things happen that are going well, I add things to it. The other day I just added that it was warm out. In New York this time of year, it can be really cold, and it was a beautiful day. It was 70 degrees, and I had about 15 minutes I can sit and eat my lunch in a park, and I was really grateful for that. So I took out my journal and I wrote it down. And, when you're focusing every day, all day on what you're grateful for, you just find that things are just instantly coming your way. They continue to receive good things. And when, you do have something that is not that great that happens, let's say you wind up being late for work because you get stuck in traffic, or you get a flat tire, or whatever it is, you get a parking ticket, you can look back at your gratitude journal, in that situation right during the day, and you can make sure that you're still focusing on gratitude. It's a great strategy for making sure that whatever bad thing happened, or whatever thing happened that, was unpleasant, it doesn't change your mood and change your feelings. Because we know when we're feeling good, when we're feeling well, we attract good things into our lives. When we're not feeling well, when we're feeling angry or resentful, or we're feeling frustrated, those are negative emotions, and we tend to attract things we don't want into our life. So their number one strategy is using gratitude journals throughout the day. The second thing, and I'm in the process of doing this, and I love it. This is something that, I'm just beginning to use. I think it's so much fun to do and to set up, is to make scrapbooks. Now, you might say, okay, well, are you talking about scrapbooks about going different places? Now, my scrapbooks are a little bit different. What I did is I made a list of places that I want to travel and places I've never been. And then I decided I was going to scrapbook those vacations, even though they haven't happened yet. I'm actually making scrapbooks of the places I want to go, and it is so much fun. I'm watching different YouTube videos, and I'm reading travel guides of the different destinations I want to travel to, and I'm looking up nice restaurants, and I'm printing up menus, and I'm putting them in my scrapbook, and different excursions I want to do, whether or not it's like swimming with the dolphins or scuba diving, and I'm printing up the different companies and putting them there. And I photoshopped, pictures of myself in front of different monuments of places I want to travel to, and I'm putting them in my scrapbook. And I have this wonderful book that's become this very powerful vision board. And now, on a regular basis, my plan is, and again, I'm in the process of making this book, is to look at this book and, look at it on a regular basis, knowing I love to travel, knowing this is how I want my dreams to come true. I want to have the freedom to be able to travel wherever I want, whenever I want, and to go on these amazing vacations. Well, we know if we focus and visualize on something that we bring that into our life. So that's strategy number 2. Now, it doesn't have to be scrapbooking about a dream vacation. For me, that's my purpose. I love to travel. I love to do new things. For you, it could be something else. And if you're striving to achieve a goal such as an academic goal, scrapbook what your graduation day is going to look like. If your goal is to own something, maybe you want to make an art portfolio, scrapbook what that's going to look like. Whatever it is you're looking for, as if you've already done it. Right? We know that if we want to receive something, we must focus on the emotion that we're going to experience when we achieve it, when we have it, because that's how we're going to really attract that into our lives. Akina, what do you think about that?
I totally agree. A lot of people are visual. They have to see it in plain sight. And as you're putting the picture together, you can start visualizing it in your head. And you can start putting the dream together in your head. And then you can start believing the dream as it's coming together. And by the time you have that perfect picture, then you have totally bought into your dream. And you can see them for what they are. You can see them in detail. And you can see that you are worthy of them. And you can see yourself going for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really powerful for those people who are really visual. For someone who's not as visual and someone who's auditory, you're going to really love strategy number 3. And, guys, I hope you're taking notes because we're just going through this so fast. We're going to get through 10 of these in the next half hour, 20 minutes we have left. So just grab on board, buckle your seats, roll your sleeves up, get your pen, get your paper, and write these things down. The next thing I really love, and this is really good for me, who I'm a little bit more auditory than visual, and I've been doing this for a long time, is using I am affirmations. And I've talked about this before on our show where, you stand in front of the mirror, you look in the mirror, and you say, I am, and you fill in the blank. I am beautiful. I am lean. I am strong. I am independent. I am courageous. I am abundant. I am wealthy. Fill in the blank with I am. And I've heard this said before from several different people. But, if you want to look at this from a biblical perspective, whether you're Christian or you're not, it doesn't matter what religion you are. In the Bible it says, who is God? When Moses asked God, he says, I am that I am. I am the great I am. And it's said that we are made in the image of God. And if we're made in the image of God and we put anything after I am that is not beneficial, that is not a way that we would want God to see us, then we're committing blasphemy. And I don't remember where I've heard that. I listen to tons of different podcasts, but I've heard that said on several occasions. And it's really important, if you need to see yourself the way God sees you. I am abundant. I am strong. I am worthy. I am capable. Fill in the blanks. Look in front of the mirror. Say it on a daily basis. You'll begin to reprogram the way that your brain thinks and sees yourself instantly. You're going to see changes in your life. So that was number 3. Number 4. Setting intention lists. When I set an intentions list, I don't set goals. People tell me, what are your goals? I don't have goals. I have intentions. There's not something I'm trying to do. There's something I am doing. So when people say, okay, well, what are you doing this week? I'm taking a course right now in organization. It said, what are you doing this week? What are your goals? And I said, this week I am easily, and I listed the things I'm going to do. And there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to do them. They're going to get done. So, when you have things that you want to do, it's very powerful to write them as if you're going to do. They've already happened. And make sure every day you are setting intentions. Know what you want to accomplish for the day. Kina, how much more powerful is your day, if you wake up and say, okay, today, for Changing Minds Online, I'm going to do these 5 things versus kind of just winging it. How would your business, Kina, how would your education, where you've accomplished an amazing amount of education and degrees, would that have worked if you just woke up and decided to wing it?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I definitely had to plan. Yeah, I definitely had to plan. I definitely had to say that I was worth it because especially, and this is something people may not know, but when you are going into doctorate school, their goal is to make sure that they're weeding out the tear, okay? Biblical reference. And so it's very hard, and they say things, and they speak to you in tones that you're not used to maybe, but at the end, many fall off. But when you put that robe and that hood on, then you know you were strong enough to make it through the battle. They know that they got a warrior. And that is so important because that's where the affirmations come in. So when they're talking to you crazy, when people are talking to you, when they're telling you all these negative things, that's when you become I am. I am powerful. I am deserving. I am empowered. I am moving in an upward direction. I am full of upward mobility. I am all that I'm supposed to be. I am everything that I need to get to my greater. So when you are, and I don't even know where this is coming from, but that's okay. We're going with it. So when you're going with this, say those affirmations. You need to hear them. You need to hear the power in your voice as you're saying them, and then you will start projecting that power, and then you will start attracting people with that same type of power. You will stop attracting negativity. You will start attracting positivity. You will start attracting power. You will start attracting motivation. You will start attracting empowerment. You will start attracting greater.
Absolutely. It's so powerful and important to really have those affirmations and really set those intentions for what you want to do. Another way to use affirmations, and this is our step number 5, and this is a really interesting way, is to write yourself love notes. Now, I actually stole this idea from friends of mine who have kids and who say, every day they write their kids love notes in their on lunch when they pack their lunch. And, if you're writing your children love notes, and I said, well, I don't have any kids to pack lunch for, but I wanted to write love notes. I said, you know what, I'm going to write love notes to me. So I like to eat healthy. It's not always easy. And, the type of job that I have, when I work full-time, I travel to see different clients on a regular basis, and I'm trying always to scramble and find a way to eat. I'm very blessed to live in New York City, where there is a lot of healthy options compared to a lot of other places, but it still becomes unnecessarily expensive, and you still can't control what's in your food when you're eating out. So I'd like to make sure I'm eating clean, healthy foods. And, that really wasn't on our list, but I just do want to kind of throw it out there while we're talking about this. If you're not eating clean, healthy foods, if you're eating garbage, you're going to attract garbage into your life. And I just want to throw that out there. If you're not taking care of your body will not take care of you. You will not have the physical strength and energy it requires to make your dreams come true. So, side note, get healthy, eat healthy. But, one of the things I do when I'm packing my notes, back on topic, or packing my lunch every day, is I write myself a love note every day. Every morning I say, Jessica, you are beautiful. You have the strength that you need to get through this day. have a wonderful day. I love you. And I'm letting myself know, I'm affirming myself. And when I can't wait on lunch to take out my lunch and unpack my lunch. And, the first thing I do is pray and thank God for the food. And the second thing I do is no matter how hungry I am, I open that love note and read it. And I'm so excited to read what I've written to myself every day. And again, there's days where, my day might be really hard. Maybe I have a really tough meeting in the morning, or I had a really hard client, and, but I need that kind of pick-me-up before lunch. And sometimes I'll go into my lunch a little early, and I'll, open it up and I'll read that, and it really does help me get through the day. And you know what? You should love yourself. You should really appreciate yourself. You were made in the image of God. God is love. You are love. You are made perfectly. It is totally okay to love on yourself, and motivate yourself, because at the end of the day, you really are what you have. You are capable, you are strong, and at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, no one else is going to love you, and no one's going to do it for you. So, write yourself those love notes every day. Like, have you ever written yourself a love note? Is this something you think you could see yourself doing?
I have never done it, but I can picture myself doing it. It's always something new and exciting to explore. So I do have a question about that. So how do you, when you're doing your love note, do you just write a whole bunch of them and then just pick a card and throw it in your bag so that you don't know what you wrote to yourself each day, or do you just write it and then you already know?
I have a lot of friends. I have a couple of friends who do things like this, and I have heard people do things different ways. I've heard people say that they'll go on to Google, they'll Google affirmations, and then they'll laminate them and print them up and stick one affirmation card in their lunch each day, and every day it's a new and different one, and they don't really know what they're going to get. I actually don't do that. I like to write them every morning. The reason why I do that is because I know what my day is going to look like. I'm packing my lunch. It takes me an additional 1 to 2 minutes to write this little note to myself, this love letter to myself. But I know what my day is going to look like. So, for example, if I know that I'm going to be planning a really hard workout, I'll gear that letter to saying, okay, you're strong and you can totally do this and you're totally going to kick butt on your workout later today. Versus like if I know I have a really tough meeting, I'll write myself a letter saying, you're focused and you're organized and you're calm and, you're going to get through this easily. So I tend to like to tailor this letter specific to my day. That's how it works best for me. But there isn't really a wrong way to do it. One of the other things that I do is not only writing myself love notes on a daily basis, but write yourself a note at the beginning of the month, congratulating yourself for everything you've accomplished at the end of the month. And, this is going to go into our actual next step. Our step number 8 is and this is, again, a strategy I've begun to use recently. Every day, every month, on the first of the month, I write myself a check. And that check is for the amount of money that I want to save every month. So I save 10% of my income. I pay that to myself. If you read, any really great books on financial literacy, The Richest Man in Babylon, I know, has this in it. A lot of strategies. They say pay yourself first because no one else is going to pay you. You have to pay yourself first. So I will decide how much income I want to create in any given month. So if I want to save $1,000 a month, then I know that I'm setting the intention of creating $10,000 in income. Well, that's my intention. So what I do on the first of the month is I write myself a check for $1,000, and I post that check where I can see it on my desk somewhere, and I look at it every day. And every day as I'm creating my income, as I'm engaging in business transactions, I'm making my schedule, I'm getting organized, I'm prioritizing, right, what I can do, because we all have the same amount of time. There's limited time we can do things. And when I'm making the decision to, read a book or to watch TV or to, go out with friends or to work on authoring some of the books that Akeem and I have coming out later this year, I have to look at that check and say, okay, which one of these activities is going to help me get that check? So really making sure you could do the same thing with your love notes, do the same thing with your money, is write yourself those notes in the beginning of each month to read at the end of the month. Write yourself that check to cash. And I intend, and I have this check, I'm sitting I'm looking at this check right now, and it says, I want it in a $1,000 check written out to myself. I can see it. And my intention is to bring this to the bank on the 31st and on Halloween on next Friday and to cash this check into my savings account or my checking account, knowing that I have set the intention to make that income. So, Akina, I know you're really big on budgets and numbers, and I know you really excel in that area. What do you think about that strategy?
I like it. I do. Because, that puts you in the driver's seat of your finances. That puts you in the driver's seat of your intentions. And even if you don't make it the first time, you know what you did in order to not make it, so then you're going to just make the corrections for the next time. And it's all a learning process. So I like anything that puts us in the driver's seat and makes us more powerful and empowered. What do you think about that, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's really what you're doing is you're really setting yourself up to be in a position of power. We know we are powerful creators. We can really take control of our own lives, and this is a really great way to do it. So we, I actually went out of order on my list, so that was actually step number 6. So we're on step number 7, meditating and visualizing what you want. I love to use guided meditations. Now, depending upon my day, I may do I do meditate every morning and every night before I go to bed. I'd love to sit here and tell you that every day I'm spending, 15, 20, 30 minutes every morning and night in meditation. I do my best. It depends really on my day, right? We're all human. We can have this kind of idea of an ideal schedule, but the truth is life happens. Sometimes we have things we need to deal with, or we'll finish our work a little late. And, people say you should go to bed the same time every night. I mean, they're not running international online businesses like we are. We don't go to bed the same time every night. We go to bed when we finish our work, right, Akina? So, sometimes there's not those 30 minutes. Yeah, we don't have those 30 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just get in whatever time you can, but visualize what you want. Studies are indicating that when you do something visually in your brain, you're visualizing it, and you have the same type of responses. Your brain doesn't really know if you've done it in real life or it's a visualization, so you tend to get the same benefits. That's why athletes use this. I use this as a runner. I will picture myself running races and excelling and hitting certain times, and it's a really powerful way to actually achieving those things. You're instantly going to begin to attract things into your life. And Akina, I know you use a lot of visualization as well.
Oh, yes. It's very important for me to see what I'm doing. If I don't see it, it's really hard for me to make a decision. And that's where, we're stepping out on faith comes in. But it's still good to be able to see it because you can buy into it quicker. But as they always say, when you can't see it, that means that it's so big that it's challenging you. And it's always time to have a challenge. But when the good Lord says it's time for you to move, you better move whether you see it or not. Because you can move by yourself or you can let him move you. And I promise you, you want to move by yourself. So I've been there and done that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we want to be able to visualize.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell you, and on that note, I always say, Lord, help me to get on my knees one way or the other. And I just pray, I'm like, I want to get there willingly. I don't want him to have to knock me down there, right? But absolutely. Right. On staying on this note of visualization, we have our step number 8. Now, if you are a kinesthetic person like I happen to be, you're going to love meditation because it's very much participatory. It's very emotional if you're doing something. If you're someone who's more of a visual person, you may do better with affirmation boards. That's kind of like my scrapbooks. Cut out pictures of things that you want, places you want to go, words that make you feel good, things that you want to achieve and accomplish, things you want to have. I mean, we all want things. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally cool to want like a Louis Vuitton handbag, a nice car. I wanted a convertible. I cut out a picture of a convertible. I put it on my wall. A week later, my car broke down, and I bought a convertible. So be careful what you wish for. But it really works. I was like, wow, this really works. So, you really, and it's totally okay to want those things. That's if you're very visual, that can be a really powerful strategy. I know, Akina, we've already discussed this, and we're almost out of time, so I'm going to keep going. On a quick side note, if, a lot of times Akina and I are talking on this podcast, we're using terms like if you're kinesthetic, if you're auditory, if you're visual. If you don't know what I mean, I love the book Law of Connection from Michael Elger. It's a great book. Get it, read it. It's an audiobook. It takes, I think it's like $6 on Amazon. It takes 4 hours to listen to. It'll totally clarify what we're talking about. Amazing book. I think it's one of the best books I've ever read. So if you don't know what we're talking about, get that book. And we might even be able to do a podcast on that again for you soon on what those different learning types and styles are. But I know we have 2 more to cover tonight, 2 more strategies. We have 5 minutes left, so we're going to really buckle in and get this done. The next step we want to talk about, step number 9, is personal growth. Personal growth is so important. Here's an example. I just said to you, if you, and this wasn't even planned, but I just said, hey, if you don't know what we're talking about, get this book. I love this book. Akina and I are constantly doing personal development. I cannot even begin to tell you 90% of the time that I text Akina and we don't have a planned meeting, and I'm like, Akina, can you talk? She'll tell me, I'm in a webinar. I'm at an event. So just even today before we got on this call, I was looking, next week I'm spending the whole week, a very intensive 5-day, 10 hours a day intensive personal development curriculum and course. We're always looking to grow. I was already planning the next event I want to attend. Kina, how big is personal development in this process?
Oh, my goodness. You can't go unless you grow. You can't go unless you grow. And if you are not willing to grow, then, get ready to sit. Because if you're not evolving, then nothing is happening. There's got to be a constant flow. Success comes with flow. It's got to move. It's got to move. It's got to move. And if you're trying to stay still, then you're not moving so that the abundance can move, so that the success can move. So you just basically stopped your abundance. You just stopped your success by sitting still. You got to start growing. You got to give it a space to fill up. Once it's filled up its space, you're containing it. You're not letting it grow to its potential if you're not growing. So if you don't get bigger, your success can't get bigger, your abundance can't get bigger, your dreams can't get bigger, and you become complacent and stagnant. And those are 2 words that you do not ever want to be as a professional woman or professional man. You do not want to be stagnant, and you don't want to be complacent. Those are success and abundant killers. Absolutely.
And on that note, that brings us to our topic number 10, and I'm going to let you hit this home, Kim, your strategy number 10, and that is to get a mentor. In this journey of personal growth and development, you need a mentor. And Akina, I know this is a topic you're really passionate about, so why don't you finish out this call tonight on that note?
Oh, my goodness, mentors are so important. I start this topic off with work smarter, not harder. When you have a mentor who is where you are, where you want to be, they can guide you in the right direction. They have made the mistakes, and they can show you different ways for you to not have to make those mistakes. You can move faster on your path. You can grow faster, and you can start developing so that you can get to a spot where you can help develop others. The goal is to give back, but you can't give back until you have been poured into. So if you have not been poured into by someone or by an experience, then you cannot give back to others. So go get that mentor. Go get poured into. Go get developed. go get some growth. Then you can give out your growth and your information to the world, because guess what? Someone in the world is waiting for you.
Absolutely. And you know what? If someone comes to you, be a mentor. Don't just look for mentors. Be a mentor. Sometimes that's actually the best way to grow too, and we know that we need to pay it forward. But, I'm just going to do a recap, a real quick reading of this list. It's right at 9:30, so we really want to finish up this call tonight. But, our 10 things, again, if you have your pen, if you miss anything, get it ready. Gratitude journals, doing those visualizing scrapbooks, the I am affirmations, your intentions list, write yourself love notes, do your meditations, personal to growth, write yourself those checks, get a mentor, and make your vision boards. Those are our 10 strategies. We're a little bit out of order than my list, but those are our 10 strategies for instantly manifesting the life of your dreams. Akina, is there anything you want to add to the call before we end it tonight?
Well, if anything we said touched you or you want your own copy, then we are here to please. You can go to changingmindsonline.com. You can also go to iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podomatic, and we are everywhere you need to be, or you can just get our app on your iPhone or your Android phone and be able to have us anytime you want. But we're here for you.
Absolutely. And, Akina and I, we do have a product we just put out on Amazon. It's called the I Can Create My Life Planner. It has a lot of the strategies we talked about today built right into it. As a matter of fact, I think it has places for affirmations. It has places for writing yourself love letters. It has places for setting intentions. It has places for your vision boards. And very soon we're going to be putting out a second book on gratitude. So, go into Amazon, get your copy, and that'll help you knock off half of these strategies on that list. As always, we love you. Thank you to everyone who called in tonight, and we can't wait to talk again on Thursday. Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Akina. Good night.
Good night, everyone.